Middlesex or something, or Denellen? I thought she did.
No, she didn't have Denellen.
Oh, she never?
She's in a few towns. Nothing currently, I don't think. I don't think she has a town.
Oh, you don't think she has a town?
No, she's not handling it.
Oh, okay.
She backs up a bunch.
Okay.
I mean,
How's she doing though?
She's great.
all right. Good evening. Tonight is the regular meeting of Wednesday, September 10th, 2025, and the time is just about 7:02 p.m. Could you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brusher.
Here.
Councilmember Coyle.
Here.
Councilmember Harris.
Here.
Councilmember Patel.
Here.
Councilmember Patil.
Here.
Councilmember Pointer. Councilmember Shmuel.
Here.
Madam Clerk, adequate notice, please.
Adequate notice of this meeting as required by the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975 has been provided by the annual notice sent to the Home News Tribune, Star Ledger, Desi Talk, and News India Times on November 18th, 2024, and posted in Main Lobby Municipal Complex on that same date.
Thank you very much. Council President's remarks. I've got a few things that are on a better note, but I need to start tonight with my sense of devastation and anger about the murder of the conservative columnist, conservative activist Charlie Kirk today. I don't know how many of you knew about this. Charlie Kirk was 31 years old, left behind a wife and 2 kids. He was speaking at an event at a Utah college, and not Brigham Young, but a different college, and 20 minutes into his speech, he was shot in the neck, and he passed away a little while later. I am so upset about this. Now, understand that as a liberal to moderate myself, there's probably nothing I agreed with Charlie Kirk about. But this man is a human being, and the acceleration of these kinds of assassinations going on in the name of politics, whether it was Charlie Kirk today, whether it was the Minnesota legislators back a few months ago, I consider this to be a form of domestic terrorism. And I'm afraid that all that's going to happen from this is that we are going to see more, and we're going to see more of this more often. I've had some of my liberal friends who have kind of given me you reap what you sow. Look what he said about guns. He said that, well, maybe we need to accept a few deaths in order to preserve the Second Amendment. This is not about guns right now. This is about humanity, and I condemn what happened to him, just like what I condemn what happened to the Minnesota legislators a few months ago, and so on and so on and so forth. And I want to just read a piece that caught my eye. This is from a man who, Dr. Robert Pape, a political science professor at the University of Chicago, he said this a few months ago. What I fear is an increasing sense of mobilization between 2 opposed blocs, one that drives both protesters and government forces to become more militant as each seeks to impose its will on the other. Many Democratic and Republican leaders have condemned political violence. That is good, but they have almost always done so in separate statements. My research suggests that to de-escalate the political environment and reduce the risk of violence, America's political leaders need to cross their political divides and make joint statements and ideally joint appearances that denounce all political violence, welcome all peaceful protest, and call for respecting the rules, process, and results of free and fair elections in the country. I could not agree more. And I've had enough of the finger pointing and well, they started it, no, they started it. I've had enough of this. And so I guess I'm I guess I'm venting a bit here, but I guess I'm also asking everyone who is watching or everyone who is here to do whatever you can to tone down the rhetoric and to cross the divide, cross the aisles, and be able to speak truth to power in this sense. This is not about guns today. This is about what I would call domestic terrorism. And I send my sympathies to Charlie Kirk's family, and I send my sympathies to this country because I'm concerned about what we've become and who we've become in this sense. So I thank you for indulging me in that. I also want to point out today is World Suicide Prevention Day, and to that effect, and I mentioned this at Monday's meeting, the suicide prevention awareness presentation is going to be at the JCC on Wednesday, September 17th at 7 p.m. Also, speaking of terrorism, 9/11, the 9/11 event is going to be tomorrow at 6 p.m. at Papiani Park. And last but certainly not least, on a much happier note, I want to wish our Council Vice President, who could be anywhere else today but here on his big birthday, and then going to Sunday, I want to wish our Councilman Nish Patel also a happy birthday. They both share the same birthday, just a few days apart, and I think they look darn good for 60, don't you think? And also, apparently we also have a birthday today of the captain over there. He also has a birthday. So happy birthday to one and all. And with that, we go to resolutions of recognition. Madam Clerk, could you read the resolution?
Whereas libraries play a vital role in the educational, cultural, and social development of individuals and communities, offering free access to books, technology programs, and other critical resources. And whereas the library card is a powerful tool that provides access to a wealth of knowledge, services, and opportunities for people of all ages, backgrounds, and walks of life. And whereas National Library Card Sign-Up Month celebrates each September, is a time to highlight the value of libraries and to encourage all members of the community to obtain and use the library card, whereas the library supports lifelong learning, early literacy, job searching, digital skills, civic engagements, making them essential institutions in building informed and resilient communities. And whereas the American Library Association and libraries across the nation work tirelessly to promote the importance of library cards and ensure equitable access to resources for all. Now therefore resolved that Municipal Council of Township of Edison does hereby recognize September as National Library Card Sign-Up Month and encourages all residents to sign up for a library card, explore the local libraries, and take advantage of the many valuable resources and service they provide.
Thank you very much. Let's open it up for any public comments on this resolution. Okay, seeing none. Oh, yes, Joel.
As a library user, I'm glad to see that the libraries are being recognized and encouraged for what they do. I enjoy using Edison's libraries for not only books and DVDs, but cultural events, film screenings, musical events. I think it's a great resource, and I think it behooves Edison to continue to support all of its libraries. Thanks.
Thank you, Joel. Anyone else? Yes, Liz.
Elizabeth Conway, 20 Netherwood Circle. I couldn't go by without saying how wonderful our libraries are. As my children were growing up, we almost lived in the library. I still have my library card. I don't even know if it's any good. I think it's over 50 years old, so we'll have to see. But as a teacher, I used the libraries to help students. And my favorite, and I'll never let you know any different, has always been Clara Barton. I'll go out of my way because it was smaller, it was quieter, they were very welcoming, and not that the other two were wonderful, but the atmosphere there just helped my students do well, and I appreciate them even more than the other two, even though I love both of them, all three of them Would be nice if we had 4, but that would be nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, motion to close public portion.
Motion to close public portion.
Okay, second?
Second.
Thank you very much. Can we get a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Thank you. Council comments?
Council President,
Council Vice President?
come bearing my library card. The services that come with the signing up for a library card are tremendous. The opportunities that are presented by it help people grow, help people learn. They offer a wealth of knowledge, not just in a book sense, but also now in the digital sense. My wife loves using the audiobook option that is available, and many people may not be aware, but if you get a library card for our wonderful libraries here in town, you can actually use this amongst other libraries in Middlesex County. So you're not just getting what is offered here, you're entered into a network throughout the state that present a lot of opportunities. My kids, for instance, loved the Color Our World program that was done this summer, which was a program ran by the library to promote reading before the school year. They learned a lot of new words, and the incentives that were provided were great in the sense of making them want to participate. So for that, I thank the library for what they do, and I definitely hope that everyone goes and gets a library card. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Vice President. Anyone else?
Council President,
Yes, Councilman Patel.
when we first came to this country, I remember using the library a lot. And I remember that was the place where we essentially went and learned English, got pizzas, because if you read enough books, you got a couple of coupons and you can get pizza. And all the memories I have of the library has been some of those memories that I cherish. And I hope that everyone who doesn't have a library card gets one and makes great memories with the libraries and takes advantage of all the services that we offer. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Patel. Anyone else?
Council President,
Yes, Councilman Coyle.
I am proud that we have public libraries. I'm proud that members of the council here fought to keep the library in Clara Barton, although some people can quickly forget the fight that we had and making sure that we preserved that location. I'm truly proud of what the libraries have done for many generations and what high schools have become, and where people went from high school to universities who put a lot of time into the libraries. I'm quite certain there are stories there that I'll never know to tell, but great work. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Coyle. Anyone else?
Council President,
Yes, Councilman Patil.
I still remember going to library when my kids were in school. But now I see the library has taken completely, it's at a very different level, and kudos to, we have in audience President Tony D. Pascal here, we have the library director. Many more programs were added, whether it's an ESL, it's related to food, educating the audience. It has taken a different level. The reason I say it's not just for the books, it's not the place for the study, but it's also the place for getting together, learning social aspects, learning many more things that goes beyond the book and that cannot be taught. Again, kudos to the library board and kudos to the administration who is doing a wonderful job. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Patil. Anyone else? Okay. For myself, I can say, having been the liaison to the council in 2023 and 2024, that I have seen astonishing growth by the libraries with all the programs they offer. It's head-spinning how many programs are offered through our libraries. And then the pièce de résistance, which is the rehabbing being done of the North Library and of the main libraries. I'm happy to announce that it looks like the outside work on the main library is going to be done pretty soon. And I think, I think, Alan, you said around January 2nd was, we're looking for the opening of the whole library. Is that correct? Yes. The North Library is, I think that we're looking for, I think you said July 4th next year? Yeah. So those are coming along. They're going to be better than ever, and they're going to be showcase libraries with all kinds of additional offerings and additional amenities to them. And so it's really very, very exciting. So I'm very happy to be here to present this resolution of recognition. And so with that, can we get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Brusher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Yes.
Council President Harris.
Yes. All right. And with that, can I ask my fellow council members to come up with me to present this, please? And ask Alan and any of the library board people, is this that? Yeah, ask you to come up as well. One. You get one.
That's it?
That's it.
Only one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I might add, I want to speak to Liz about this 50-year-old library card, because I think probably in one of my junk drawers, I might beat you on this one. I might have from the 1960s a library card from Highland Park, Illinois, the Highland Park Public Library. So I'm going to have to search that and finally get rid of it. I think it's time after all this. So, all right. It is my honor, it is my privilege, and it is the privilege, I believe, of the entire council to present you this resolution of recognition. We appreciate so much what you do, what you have done, and the direction that this library is taking. And we thank you so much for your dedication, and thank all of the board members for your work and dedication. And with that, I want to turn it over to hear a few words from both of you. Yeah.
So I'll start out by saying that, the library system is not just done by one person. There are at least 60 employees that make the library what it is. And they are all diligent in what they want, what they're doing. And it's not just a job for them, it's a mission to make the library as good as it can be for all the residents. And I just want to say, we didn't leave Clara Barton out. We actually are doing renovations coming up soon on the front part of Clara Barton, where the entrance has been closed for many years. And then we're also bringing in a planner to talk about looking at the layout of Clara Barton, redoing that just to make it the best it can be. So all three libraries, we are actually funding to have renovations or just upgrades to the systems and what we need for them. So
I just want to say thank you to the council and council president for this recognition. And I would echo the sentiment that everyone in Edison should get their free library card. The past 4 years of this library, it is basically one of these sleeping giants. And we're now taking our proper place in the county and in the state, with not only with all the renovations, but with all the exciting new programs. Both the main library renovation and the North Edison is going to give us more space in order to do better service for the residents of Edison. And we're thinking of Clara Barton as well. I hope all of you have had an opportunity to see the library on wheels. We make over 40 stops each month around the township. And so we kind of say we are 5 components, 3 physical buildings, 1 bookmobile, and 1 sprinter. So we're all one family, visit all of us on a regular basis. And I do want to say this summer, And as you know, Joe Romano is the superintendent's representative to the library board. This year, we had the highest number of students participate in our summer reading program, almost double from last year. We've been making visits to almost all of the schools in town over last year, and I think we're making a difference, starting with babies who are 3 months old, all the way through our older adults who are 90 and above, who attend our program. So I think we've got a robust program, but there's always room for more, and 2026 should have some new innovations for the Edison Public Library. So once again, thank you all for this recognition, and we look forward to topping what we did this year next year.
Thank you so much. Let's give him a hand. Thank you. Everyone. All right. And the ARC, what are we doing with?
Just gonna, I guess we could read this and
All right.
vote on it.
Okay.
Read the next one.
Okay, yeah, so there's the resolution for the ARC of Middlesex County. I don't believe we have any of their representatives here, so I believe we will just have that read.
Whereas every day in New Jersey, more than 30,000 men and women work as direct support professionals providing critical support and services to hundreds and thousands of children and adults with intellectual and development disabilities. Whereas direct support professionals have dedicated their professional lives to supporting, serving, and empowering individuals with development disabilities, enabling them to live fulfilling lives in the community. And direct support professionals provide a broad range of support, including help with personal care, participating in school, work, home, religious, and recreational activities, leaving important life skills, and general day-to-day activities to foster full citizenship. Whereas direct support professionals develop strong, trusting relationships with individuals with intellect and development disabilities that are personally enriched for both their individuals and professional. The ARC of Middlesex County values the hard work of its direct support professionals and recognizes the support of the administration governing body of Edison for these invaluable workers who support individuals with intellectual and development disabilities. The week of September 7th through the 13th has been designated Direct Support Professionals Recognition Week to honor and recognize the significant contributions that direct support professionals make to our communities. Every day, the ARC Middlesex County's direct support professionals make a tremendous difference in the lives of people, strengths, and our community, supporting of our vulnerable citizens for which they deserve our respect and deepest admiration. Now for it be resolved that Edison Township Council hereby does proclaim September 7th through the 13th as Direct Professional Recognition Week in Middlesex County, and the ARC Middlesex County's direct professionals for the dedication and commitment to the citizens with development disabilities.
Thank you very much. Are we going to be presenting this to them at some other time, or?
Yeah, I think, I have the contact information
Okay,
from the
so
email, and I
we're not doing comments on this particular one? I don't think so. Okay,
We can still open it, but
okay, let's wait, I think, until we have someone to, are they going to be coming here at
I
some
don't
point?
believe they're going to come here. No.
Okay, all right.
We just want a motion to adopt.
Yeah, let's just do,
Council comments?
no, I'm saying that we might be able to skip over on that and just do a motion to adopt, if you want.
Council comments, I don't
Yeah.
know if people have still
Yep.
comments.
Yeah. All right. I'm making a different decision here. All right. Does anyone have any comment from the public about the ARC Middlesex County Direct Support Professional Week? Okay. Seeing none.
Motion to close the public portion.
Thank you. Can I get a second? All right. Motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Thank you very much. Council comments? All right.
Council President,
Yes.
I'm just proud of the great work that the ARC does, and I've had the opportunity to work with a few members, and I'm truly proud of all the great work they do. Thank you.
Yes. I wrote a few notes down here. They, see if I can find it. No, that's not it. Oh, I made some notes and I don't know where it is. They, they provide a lot of different services for career. They do some counseling, they do some transportation. There are a lot of services that they provide. And so this is a very valued and worthwhile project. So I thank them very much for what they do. Can we get anyone else? All right. Can we get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Yes.
Council President Harris.
Yes. All right, on to number 6, approval of the minutes. I think we're going to have a few,
You and Asaf have to abstain. Here.
right, yeah, so I abstain, I was not here, and Asaf, Councilman Shmuel was not here, and so can we get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, we go on to unfinished business ordinances for further consideration, public hearing, and final adoption. Madam Clerk, can you read the ordinance for 2253?
Bond ordinance providing for the acquisition of vehicles, trucks, and equipment for the solid waste collection district in and by the Township of Edison, New Jersey, appropriating $1,463,000, therefore and authorizing the issuance of $1,463,000 bonds or notes to cover the cost thereof.
Thank you very much. Opening it up for public comments on this particular ordinance. Yes, Joel?
Bassoff, Beach Lane. So I know at previous meetings, members of the public have asked about these bond ordinances, and the questions pertain to whether the taxpayers of the entire township pay off these bonds, or if the bonds are paid off just by the users of the services. And the explanation that I thought I heard was that being self-liquidating bonds, that these are paid off solely by the users of the services. So in the case of this bond, it would just be the residents within the garbage district that are paying garbage taxes. But I noticed that Section 10 of the bond ordinance says the full faith and credit of the township are hereby pledged to the punctual payment of the principal of and the interest on the obligations authorized by this bonds ordinance. The obligations shall be direct, unlimited obligations of the township, and the township shall be obligated to levy ad valorem taxes upon all the taxable property within the township for the payment of the obligations and the interest thereon without limitation of rate or amount. So that makes it sound like a general obligation bond where we're pledging the full faith and credit of the township, and that the entire township is responsible for paying that bond. So I'm just wondering how it works. Do I need a tutorial in municipal finance, or is this in fact a general obligation bond? And I'd also note that the other bonds have the same verbiage in them as well.
Okay. Yes.
That language is correct. That's in all the ordinances. The special improvement district, the water utility in and of itself, the sewer utility in and of itself doesn't have the credit worthiness to be able to go out into the markets to borrow money in bonds. So the township is a guarantor of all debt. We're even a guarantor of debt, overlapping debt from the county, from the Middlesex County Utilities Authority. But these obligations, this is an improvement district for the garbage district, for the water utility, for the sewer utility. That's all built in and paid for out of user fees. And it's in their budgets. It's in the title of the ordinance that this is an obligation of the special improvement district, where it's a bond ordinance issued by the sewer utility or the water utility. So ultimately, the township since these are municipal corporate entities, is overall responsible if there were ever a deficit. But that's why the state requires us to operate and function these entities on a self-liquidating basis. When we adopt the municipal budget every year, it has to be reviewed by the Division of Local Government Services, and they look at the sufficiency and adequacy of revenues versus expenses and debt service. And if they're not satisfied that the entity is going to be self-liquidating, they would never allow us to adopt our operating budget for the water utility, sewer utility, or sanitation district.
And Council President, just to take it further, so this specific ordinance for the solid waste district is for a one-arm bandit, actually 2 armed bandits, and for a rear load with a plow. So there's further language to support that this is for the solid waste district.
Okay, thank you, thank you. All right, anyone else on ordinance 2253? Okay, can I get a motion to close the public portion?
Motion to close the public portion?
Second?
Second.
Okay, and can I get a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt?
Second.
Okay, Madam Clerk, roll call?
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember
Oh, I'm
Coyle.
sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, I did forget the council comments. Whoops,
It's
I
already,
can't go
Once
back,
the
all
vote is
right,
called, you have to go through the vote.
all right, sorry. Eek,
I think that we're already underway.
all right,
Continue the vote.
all right.
Okay.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Patil?
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer?
yes.
Councilmember Shmuel?
Yes.
Council President Harris?
Yes, I apologize, fellow council members. I apologize, that was my bad. All right, Madam Clerk, could you read ordinance number 2254, and I promise to do better on this one.
Bond ordinance providing for various improvements to the water utility in and by the Township of Edison, New Jersey appropriating $17,745,000, therefore authorizing the issuance of $17,745,000 bonds or notes to finance the cost of.
Thank you very much. Do we have any public comments on this ordinance? All right, seeing none, can I get a motion?
Motion to close the public portion?
Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt?
Second.
Thank you. Council comments?
Council President?
Yes, Council Vice President.
On this one, when, back in 2023, on the initial set of bonds, I spoke with Roger Frieda from the water utility at length about what the game plan was on what lines needed to be updated and repaired. Some of the time has taken because they need to coordinate this along with the replacement of the lead pipes that is going on, so it has prolonged things a little bit, as well as the fact that we did the water meter replacement bond and the smart hydrant meters that are going to assist with this overall. This township, by 85 to 15% margin in 2019, voted to keep these utilities in-house. These types of authorizations and financial backings to improve the system are vital to make sure that we continue to provide the best service to the residents that this utility serves. I think that these are vitally important, and I will be happy to support these bonds. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Council Vice President. Those great points there. Anyone else? Any other council comments?
Council President,
Yes.
I also believe that this is a good investment into our infrastructure. Moving forward, I assume with the tariffs, we will be going into a very inflationary market, and any money we pay now will be considered a much higher saving in the future, at least I believe. I am not sure if that will turn out to be true, but I think it's a good, prudent act to have our infrastructure up to date, and this is a good investment going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Council President?
Yes.
I just want to share with any residents that are misunderstood of our bonds and the improvements we made to this utility. Back in 2019, we were going to bond $840 million in one shot. and give a credit card to an outside company in France to basically manage our utility. And I think today we haven't come close to spending near that. And day to day, we have an operation director who is involved every day. We have a crew. We have trucks, we have a stone yard, and we have evaluation tools. We have detailed scientific tools that this council has passed to evaluate our storm system, water system, and it's been incredible as what happened from startup, from the ground till today. So still, what's great is we're in charge, it's transparent, and I just want you to visualize for a moment if we gave $840 million to Suez in France and what that vision would be like. You wouldn't be able to talk to them, you wouldn't be able to call them. They were going to charge us just to do the billing. If we would do the billing, they were going to invoice us a fee for us to control billing. So when it comes to customer service, day-to-day operations, I'm truly proud of how we're managing this money and how we're spending it, month to month, year to year, and making critical adjustments in infrastructure in a priority timeline. So I tip my hat to the council for continuing to support this. I know some days we disagree, but I know at the end, my colleagues know we're doing the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Coyle. Anyone else? All right, can we proceed to roll call, please?
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Yes.
Council President Harris.
Yes. All right, Madam Clerk, can you read ordinance 2255? I'm sorry, 2255.
Bond ordinance provided for various improvements to the sewer utility in and by the Township of Edison, appropriating $13,908,375 and authorizing the issuance of $13,908,375 and bonds and notes to finance the cost thereof.
Very much. Let me open it up to public comments about this this ordinance, sorry. All right, seeing none, motion to close, public.
Close.
Second.
Thank you. All right, motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
All right, thank you very much. Council comments on ordinance 2255.
Council President?
Yes.
Similar to the water ordinance that was just passed, the sewer utility was voted in 2019 to remain in-house. Anyone that has been following in regards to the administrative consent order, in regards to the pump station rehabilitation projects that we need to partake, $4 million of this will be allocated to assist in those improvements, which are vital to the sewer utilities infrastructure. Likewise, $7.5 million will be done towards sewer line improvements, which as part of the ACO is a requirement from the state for us to make sure that the sewer lines that we have are in the condition that are necessary for the system to operate efficiently. Likewise, $817,000 will be done for new vehicles and equipment, which for anyone that has followed any of the emergency repairs that we've needed, this will assist in that factor. So again, I'm happy to support this. I'm happy to give the utility the resources it needs to be effective and serve the community well. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? I just have a question. Will the Ferrante House be included on this particular ordinance?
Not under this ordinance.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Any other council comments, remarks? All right. Then let's go to the roll call.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Yes.
Council President Harris.
Yes. All right, Madam Clerk, moving on to ordinance 2256. Could you read it, please?
Bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements by the Township of Edison, appropriating $25,008,500, therefore authorizing the issuance of $23,758,075 bonds and notes to finance the part of.
Very much. Any public comment? Yes, Jill?
Joel Bassoff, Beach Lane. So this bond includes, for example, $9.1 million for road resurfacing. And it occurs to me that we do road paving and resurfacing on an ongoing basis every year. These aren't new roads. So my question is, how would that be considered a capital improvement as opposed to a current expense that should be part of the operating budget? And there's also, in section 3E, $382,000 for building repairs, and that also sounds like repairs would just be a current operating expense, and $299,000 for sidewalk repairs. And I just wonder, number one, it looks like maybe we're putting regular recurring current operating expenses into a bond issue, which then tends to understate our operating needs. And how do we make sure that items that are being put into the bonds that are ostensibly supposed to be capital improvements are not just routine operating expenses?
Okay, Sonia?
Council President, these are not routine items. These are capital infrastructure, so anything with a 5-year plus life cycle, if you will, would require us to, or would enable us to bond for it. These are different streets every year. So, and these are different reoccurring items that we purchase every year.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, my question is, it seems that recurring things would be operating as opposed to capital, so that really goes to the heart of the question. Since it's recurring, how is it a capital improvement?
Ken?
The same road over again every year, that would be a recurring operating expense. But we're repaving different roads throughout the entire town. So we've been appropriating funds to do a complete townwide road resurfacing program over a certain number of years in terms of sidewalks, et cetera. So those all have 5-year capital lives. And when these bond ordinances are prepared by our bond counsel, who has to issue a tax opinion that all these items merit the capital finance laws, and therefore that's all part of the stringent requirements to issue tax-exempt obligations.
Ken? All right, thank you. All right, Liz?
Elizabeth Conway, 20 Netherwood Circle. I guess my question is the same as Mr. Bassoff. When you read this bond, it's just a little questioning when it just says capital improvements for various items, but yet items in there are regular occurring items. Now, years ago, there was a list, and and I understood from the lady that used to say, I think her name was Maureen, maybe? I had pushed because my block really needed it. And she was able to share the list where somebody had gone around and rated all the streets and said, in the next 5 years, these are the most needed, and the next would be the next 5 years, and the next 5 years. And personally, I don't recall that we needed on a regular basis bonds to pay for the road services. And I don't want to simplify it, but it would be like in my house, each room would be painted. Well, is that a capital improvement or just regular improvement that would be done? And I just fear that when we give a bond for this kind of money for various improvements, it's a little scary for what's being put in there versus being put in the regular budget. If it's a regular occurrence, which is, as a whole, we are a township, and part of our township needs to be upgraded each and every year. It's not as if we waited 10 years and now we're going to do a whole bunch of them. Okay, now we need a big chunk of money. This should be something that's being done year in and year out. So I just don't understand. This is something new in my recollection, that this has become a bond item rather than a line item in the budget. And I know you're not going to agree with me, but I'm coming from common sense rather than the professionals.
Okay, so your question in a nutshell is what then?
I don't understand why this bond should be listing all the things that come up to $25 million, and some of the items I don't think belong in there.
Okay, all right.
Council President, I apologize. I didn't hear a question, rather a comment. If I'm mistaken, please let me know, and I can certainly answer the question.
It was put in the form of a statement, I
Council
think, yeah.
President,
Yes,
can I just address
Of course.
the road aspect?
of course.
If that thought process was to remain true for the previous bonds, then the sewer line replacements and the water main replacements would be regular, right? Those same comments were not made in the previous two towards infrastructure improvements. So I personally don't find that the road resurfacing line item to be a valid argument. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you very much. Any other, yes, Sue?
Sue Malone Barber, Pleasant Avenue. When I was in business, I was always instructed, in my understanding to managing my own budget, my own department's budget, was if you do something every year, the same thing every year, it's OpEx. If you're doing something or buying something one time, it's CapEx. So if the road surfacing is cyclical and some of those other things are cyclical, I mean, I kind of have to kind of reiterate what Elizabeth was questioning. How does that work? I mean, why are we using a different, that's standard accounting. So why are we doing something different in how we classify these things?
Okay.
We're
And
not.
you know better than me. You're the accountant.
Okay.
So in terms of municipal finance, we're not doing anything different. What we're doing is different streets. They're not reoccurring. So that's why every year the list changes. Otherwise, if we were doing something, so for example, if you're going to look at our operating budget and you look at supplies, we buy them every year. Those are reoccurring, therefore in the operating budget. But we don't pave Smith Street every year. It may be 10 years from now.
Isn't that kind of like saying, though, when I'm running my house, I'm taking a home equity loan out on the different rooms, for example, that might need to be painted every year, as opposed to just being part of maintenance?
President, that's completely different. Painting is a maintenance item. Resurfacing a road is significantly different.
How is that different? How is that not maintenance?
It's a safety, it's a hazard, our folks are on it every day.
So again, as I mentioned before, we issue tax-exempt debt obligations. We would never get a tax opinion from a bond counsel for painting a room. That's just would not happen. But resurfacing a road, that under IRS tax code law allows us to bond for this for at least 5 years.
It's absolutely.
So that's what makes it a capital item.
Yeah, it's absolutely a safety issue, and I think Ken has pointed out what the difference is in the analogy that you give. Painting a room is more cosmetic. This is not about cosmetic. This is about safety.
I understand that, but that's sort of, I was just making an analogy, not obviously not painting. It still feels like a one-time expense. I mean, not a one-time expense because you keep cycling through roads every year, right?
Council President, I believe that the administration's done its best job to explain the expenditure, the reason why they're using this bond ordinance to pay for that expenditure, that it is not recurring, that it's different roads. I understand that members of the public have a different opinion and believe that it should come from operating expenses. I don't know, I'm not hearing a question anymore that this administration can answer.
I think what you
Counsel.
can, I think what you can do, Sue, is if you have further questions or want to discuss this further, you can take it offline to either Ken DeRoberts or to Sonia.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Thank
Council
you.
President,
Yes,
can I just take a crack at it?
of course.
Just imagine you had multiple houses. So let's say you had 20 houses and you wanted to put solar panels on them, and you do it once a year in each houses. Yes, each year you will take out a loan to put a solar panel on one house, and each year you'll do it. It is a regular thing you're doing, but each year you're doing it in a different house, and you're building equity into that house. And in 20 years' time, you'll have to restart with the first house because those solar panels have been essentially technologically outdated. So yes, you'll continue that cycle forever, but each year, the equity that you're building is in a new house. Same way, each year that we do a road repaving, we're building equity into that road because we don't have to touch it again for another 10 years. So a single house is not a good example in this because we have 35 square miles, so it's a much harder problem to just say it's an operational expense. It's not. It is an equity building thing. At least that's the way I look at it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Anyone else from the public on this ordinance? Okay. I'm going to have a motion to close public portion.
Motion to close?
Second.
All right, thank you. Motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
Second. Thank you. That was John. Okay, yes. Now, council comments?
Council President?
Yes.
I just want to thank Ken DeRoberts and our administrative team and finance for knowingly being aware of all the leverage opportunities we have to bond. And as much as I'm listening to comments from residents, I'm challenged to discover what exactly they want, because if you were to put in road improvements in our operating expenses, our taxes would be through the roof. So I'm thankful that all of us here have gotten a lesson over the last 10 years, some of us 12 years, on the council, working with Ken DeRoberts and his team, because this has been evaluated, and this is the direct way governing is done. And I welcome the questions, but I'm confused why you would even argue to have a challenge that you want to see it in operating expenses. We're fortunate that we have the bond rating we have and the leverage we have in this town, the tax base we have. I mean, we're not Metuchen. We have 2,400 acres of industry. We have, $8+ billion in assessed revenue. We are fortunate to have all this and to get roads paved. Go through other towns, and we do more paving than any town in the county. I mean, I'm thankful. So thanks for educating us. Thanks for educating the residents. And thank you, Council President.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Coyle, I just want to say that I think your points are well taken. I take some umbrage at what I sense is sort of scolding the public for having the questions that they have. They come here with honest questions. They are wanting to be fiscally responsible. And so I just would ask that maybe you can present your arguments to the public without an air of kind of scolding them for arguing the points or discussing the points. That's all.
That was a level 2. If I went to 10, I don't know what you would say. I mean, it's a rebuttal to the obvious. They're coming here. They're coming here to speak ill of the council as if we don't know what we're doing. I'm here to correct them in a professional way.
Whoa, point of
all.
order indeed.
I think we've done a fine job.
I will not tolerate you characterizing the public as having criticized the council. They did no such thing. They asked legitimate questions. We may disagree with them in point, but they asked legitimate questions. They did not criticize this council. They have legitimate questions about these bond ordinances because they want to be fiscally responsible. So I'm not going to tolerate that kind of characterization. Any other council comments?
Council President. This road paving program, it seems to be simple on the surface, but technically it is not. If you look at various roads that we have, it's a 30 square mile. It's many roads that it's next to impossible that we can pave roads in 1 year in one bond. That's not going to happen. And that's impossible to do that practically as well as from the economical sense. There are many roads, they need to be reconstructed. If you look at, it's just not paving, but reconstruction. And that's why you will see, some few years, you will have less number of roads compared to the other year. That involves drainage, sidewalks, correcting the situation that was not there because, some of the roads are not paved for 20 years. They don't have the drainage system. Now, with the new paving program, some of those roads are considered for reconstruction of those things. So this is going to happen. This will continue to be a bond. As I said, financially, it is not viable to be an operating expense because the life of the road is not 2 year or 3 year or 4 year. Maintenance, I get if there is a pothole, yes, that's a maintenance. But if you are reconstructing the road or resurfacing that road after 20 years, it still becomes a capital expense. So I'm in fully support of that. Just want to clarify, what I understood, and I think this council, we should be empathetic, respectful, at the same time sharing what we understand based on the ordinance, based on our experiences, and share that with the public. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, and thank you, Councilman Patil. Anyone else?
Council President?
Yes, Councilman Brescher.
Ken, let me ask you a question, and I'm a little bit off topic, but I think I know the answer. We, in the past, because you've been here quite some time, in the past, we have bonded for when our employees retire, right? And so typically employees don't use all their vacation time or all their sick time, and at the end we have to pay them when they go and retire. We've bonded that in the past, haven't we?
We funded that over a 5-year period of time. We were allowed under state law to do what's called a special emergency note, and funded those over 5 years. We stopped doing that in 2023. Administration, through our budgeting process, we've begun building up and self-funding reserves to cover those expenses.
Right. So I guess where I'm going with it is these are mechanisms, I guess, to curb taxes in the town, like the roads. We could put together a plan, right, at the end of the day, where the township would put away whatever the dollar amount might be, $500,000, $800,000 a year, and then the township could pave in the future when those funds came up, much like you did with this, the employees' payments. I believe you put a little bit of extra money in every year, and then that happened. But I guess where I'm going with it is, I understand, that's why I voted in voting for it, is that what I understand is that for us to fund the employees' end of it that we were bonding, and then to do the roads, I don't know that we could do it all in one budget without having a budget that would be, well, unpalatable to the residents. So I do know we did correct that other problem. And I'm happy that we did it, but to the residents' point, yes, they could be in the budget, but it would increase our taxes overall. And that was something, I guess, that the administration and then if the council, if they approve it, they choose to move ahead with it. I guess it's the best way for me to explain it.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Brescher. Any other council comments?
Council President?
Yes.
Please indulge me for a second just to go over a couple numbers, because a lot of feedback I've received is about the amount of debt. I like to do things in ratios and percentages to just try to get a general feel of things. The municipality can, as Ken advised on Monday, is able to go up to 3.5% of the township's equalized ratio. He advised that with this, we would be at 0.985. To put in comparison to a couple of our neighboring townships, I know not everyone likes to have me compare. Perth Amboy, 1.995. New Brunswick, 1.456. Piscataway, 1.471. Metuchen, 1.386. Woodbridge, 1.2. Highland Park, for reference, is 0.824. The township previously was around 0.6 mark, and a lot of that came about because during the recession, we had to bond out to be able to pay for
Tax appeals.
yes, tax appeals. Thank you. So for nearly a decade, if you look at the budget items, you'll see line items, specifically 2011 appeal, 2013 appeal, 2015 appeal, in terms of paying back the tax appeals. Those amounted to about $2.5 million every year that the township was paying back on those appeals, and it restricted a lot of investment back in the 2010s. If you look at the current amount that is being paid towards bond repayments, principal and interest, this year it's at 9.32. Previously, we were at about 12 million. As Ken stated on Monday, the goal is to keep it at 12 million or underneath. So even with these bond approvals, we should be under that 12 million mark, which again, that was how much the township was paying back about 6 years ago. So even from a line item perspective, we are actually paying less back in bond principal and interest than we previously were. I think that the 1% threshold is an appropriate measure in terms of how much the township debt percentage should be. I believe it gives us enough flexibility and opportunity to be able to make these improvements that will improve the quality of life for the residents. So I am happy with where we are at from the metric standpoint. Specific to the bond itself, we already spoke about the road resurfacing, which we have been doing since I first moved to the township in 2016. I remember Councilman Gomez going over, hey, you know, we're doing this program, and every year since, there has always been a line item for road resurfacing. This bond will also include improvements for IT, specifically Wi-Fi capabilities in Town Hall, the police firing range, which needs to be drastically improved, which we have already done engineering services for, fire department for a new heavy-duty rescue, furniture for the Toth Center and the Mini Beeville expansion, which are new projects that have not happened before. Expansion of kennels at the animal shelter, the instituting of the Edison light transit for 1 EV bus and 4 standard shuttles, as well as a mapping program so that we can start utilizing the Edison light transit for the betterment of the community. And my personal favorite, which seems a little off, is archiving services. I've had so many residents say, I've tried to find information. There was a deed or a planning board resolution from 2005 that we can't find right now. The archiving services to be able to make sure that our documents from years past are digitized and easily accessible, I think will be a major benefit to the township. So I'm happy to support this. I understand the concerns of residents in regards to where we are in terms of thresholds and amount, and it is. But I believe that these are important improvements for the township to move forward with. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Council Vice President, and I appreciate the fact that you're putting specific items, you're kind of giving a face to the numbers that were in here, and so I think that's very helpful. Thank you. Any other council comments? Okay, can we go on to roll call, please, for 2256?
Councilmember Brusher.
Yes.
Councilmember Quell.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Yes.
Council President Harris.
Yes. Okay. Moving on to 2257, Madam Clerk, can you read the ordinance?
An ordinance amending Chapter 16 Fire Prevention and Protection, Section 16-1, Uniform Fire Safety Act, Local Enforcing Agency, subsection 16-1.5, permit fees, fire code status requests of the Municipal Township Code, Township to amend the tent permit fees.
Very much. Public comment? Okay, seeing none, motion to close public comment?
Motion to close public comment.
Second?
Second.
Thank you very much. Motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Second. Thank you. And that was John again. Council comments on this ordinance? All right.
Council President?
Yes.
Just for background, as for people that may not be familiar, this is the gas station that is along Route 1. It can no longer be a gas.
No, this is 2257. Yeah.
Oh, I am so sorry.
Hold,
I skipped one. I am
hold your
so
powder, Council Vice
sorry.
President.
People look at me sideways. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Okay. All right. All right. Okay, any other council comments? No. All right. Can we go to roll call, please?
Councilmember Brusher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle. Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Yes.
Council President Harris.
Yes. All right, we move on to the last of the ordinance, no, that's the second to last. 2258. Madam Clerk, could you read the ordinance?
An ordinance authorizing the acquisition of the property identified on the tax maps of the township as block 692.05, lot 8.03, in the connection with the Thomas Street redevelopment plan, a redevelopment plan agreement between Yashav J5 Realty LLC, and upon acquisition, transfer the property to the redeveloper in furtherance of the Thomas Place redevelopment plan.
Thank you very much. Open to public comments on this ordinance. Yes, Joel?
Joel Bassoff, Beach Lane. Can someone clarify if this acquisition costs the township money, or is this just a pass-through? Also, I'd note it variously refers to Thomas Street and Thomas Place, so somebody should fix that. And of the 66 units, do any of those satisfy the township's affordable housing obligation?
I believe this is a pass-through, correct? So we have that. We'll make the correction on the Thomas Place. And affordable housing, are there any designations for affordable housing in these 66 units?
It is not clear yet on this project. Typically, there would be a set aside for that, but it is not, it's not been decided quite yet. And I could just defer to the attorney on the 66 units. We haven't discussed anything with regards to what would be designated as affordable in those.
I'm not, yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So are we passing up then a potential opportunity to make a dent in what is now Edison's pretty massive affordable housing obligation? Once the property is transferred, are we foreclosing an opportunity then to obtain affordable housing credits?
Okay, so your question, as we'd say in the law, assumes facts, not in evidence. You started with a statement which was completely not factual. You started saying that we have a massive affordable housing obligation. You know that's the subject of litigation. So to say we're missing out, we first told you that it hasn't been decided yet what that affordable housing obligation will be, but there will be one. And secondly, we are currently in litigation to establish the number in the plan. So your question presupposed that we had some massive affordable housing obligation that we don't have.
May I interrupt for one moment? Sure. If you watch, I don't know if you watched the meeting from Monday night, but Lou Raynon went through a very specific outline of where things stand with that. So if you didn't watch the meeting, you might want to watch.
I did, and it raises further questions.
Okay.
But that's for a later part of the meeting. But for now, just in terms of Thomas Place, since there are 66 units, it's still an open question whether you want to characterize our affordable housing obligation as enormous, massive, or small. That's the court, frankly, said that we have to plan for 727 new units.
That's completely untrue, I have to say.
That's in the court's order. But
no, it is not. That is a lie.
I don't want to debate that now. I'm just asking, of the 66 units on Thomas Place, are we giving up an opportunity to get some affordable housing credits, assuming that we will have some affordable housing obligation going forward?
Council President, can I just offer?
Sure.
I don't want to take up your time, so.
No, I'm done.
There was a previous application. This is kind of a part of a, it's become a bigger part, but the opposite side was previously approved by the planning board in 2023. As part of that application, which I understand these are technically different, but as part of that application, there was a set aside for affordable housing. Since this would essentially be an extension of it, my anticipation would be that there would be an inclusion. Obviously, I can't give you a guarantee at this particular point, but I would leave that to the planning board to be able to make that determination at the minimum.
Okay.
Council President?
Yes.
Can I ask my council colleague a question? Because I haven't kept track of this one that long. These come back to us. How many times, the redevelopment plans, and at what stage are we now with this one? Like this one I know it came back once or twice, it didn't count because we had to change something, but.
Technically, there were 2 redevelopment plans. This is technically part of the second one, which got grouped together with the first one because they're in close proximity. This is essentially the last step outside of planning board approval, but I'm not going to include that because that's a separate body. But this would be the last step in terms of effectuating the redeveloper agreement, which is part of effectuating the redevelopment plan, which went through all the steps of the designation, the plan itself, the approvals going back and forth between the planning board. So this should really be the last step unless I'm mistaken on that.
That's where I was going. I was thinking that it went to the planning and then had to come back to us one more time as a final plan with everything.
Well, they had the final authority on the final approval of the plan. Even in the redeveloper agreement, it says that, you know, the planning board or the municipal land use authority, you know, nothing's taken away from their authority on it. But in terms of the presets to get to this point, that has already been done. It did come back. There was a question, if I recall, on like noticing to the Thomas Place property. Came back in 2022 for the designation aspect. 2023 was the actual redevelopment plan. Last year was the approval of the plan and the approval of the redeveloper agreement, and this would be effectuating the redeveloper agreement, which is the last part of the process.
So whatever we approve tonight is really what it is then? Or, see, I thought it went to the planning, then it came back to us the final time because it was a redevelopment agreement. So I thought we were the last shop.
I would have to defer. I don't understand it as that, but maybe I'm mistaken.
Council, to legal, isn't this just the transfer of the deed? Is this the final redevelopment? I thought this was just a pass-through to get them the plan.
I believe that's accurate, yes. Yeah.
And this has nothing to really, does it authorize the final approval on
Well, I
that?
would assume that site plan approval is still going to be
Yeah,
required.
they still have
Yes.
to do.
Still site plan approval is still required.
Okay, so then it does, so at the end of the day, it comes back to us again.
Back to the planning board, yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't come back to us, because I thought this was an area in need of redevelopment that we did.
It was, but then in the redeveloper agreement, there's a lot of language to go.
Yes, once the plan has been adopted, as well as the redevelopment agreement, the only thing left is site plan approval by the planning board.
Okay, all right, so then there is no affordable housing here, right? Because it won't come back to us. It's whatever it is in the developer's agreement right now.
Council President, I believe there was, like as Councilman pointed out, there was one, at least when I was on the planning board. I remember it was like 4 units, but don't quote me on it. Or something like that, 8 units. There were some units counted toward affordable units. I just don't know what that transpired after that whole plan change, but I think it should still be included. I don't think the planning board would approve it without it.
Council
At least that's
President?
my hope.
Yes,
I
Councilman
think we're just going off track from what the ordinance is, and I'm not discounting the comments of our council and the residents, but this ordinance does not spell out diving that deep into what this discussion is growing to. I just want to vote it or vote it down.
Any other public comments on the ordinance? Yes, AJ? Were you raising your hand? Oh, okay, all right. Can I get a motion to close? Public
Motion to
portion?
close the public portion?
Second.
Thank you. Motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. All right, council comments.
Council President,
Councilman Coyle.
I will be brief in how my tone is when I speak, but I'm truly proud that this is finally coming together. I mean, it's been decades, this location. If anybody knows in the public, it's on Route 1. There's an abandoned gas station that's been abandoned for 25 years, I know. I have probably sent 100 emails to the administration to keep it clean. We've had to talk to multiple owners of the property, at one time the DOT, and behind that was a small motel, which probably had 200-plus reports there from the police department. So this is a great improvement for those who live in that area, who live behind it, near it, and those homes are selling for close to $700,000 today. To not have a motel in your backyard, I think they're at a point they'll accept anything but what was there. So the fact that we're finally moving to get rid of that abandoned gas station that parks trucks, that has graffiti, that has overgrown weeds, and a motel that was finally knocked down, I am proud we're moving forward and someone is taking action on this property. So thank you for joining us in this vote.
Thank you. Other council comments?
Council President?
Yes, Councilman.
These are indeed an eyesore property, a lot of graffiti, and I know Councilman Coyle had challenges to beautify that neighborhood. Except that portion, everything looks great, but if you are on Route 1, here you go, you have the eyesore property. Finally, I think it took a long time, 7-8 years.
Too long.
To get where we are, and I'm happy to support this ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other council comments?
Council President?
Councilman Patel?
Yes, I'll just echo the statements of my council members. And yes, I think this is a blight. It's been 20 years. We need to do something, and I'm glad this is moving along, and I'm happy to support it.
Okay. Anyone else? Council Vice President?
Council President, I had abstained originally because there were questions that I had. I appreciate Mr. Northway's office for answering a lot of those questions, particularly because it's a gas station, making sure that the township doesn't become liable for any remediation aspect of it. So I was happy with that. There are, if I'm just being honest, some concerns in regards to the plan itself, but ultimately that is something that the planning board will have to do its usual process with. So I will leave that in their hands, and yeah, that's it. Thank you,
Thank you
Council
very much.
President.
Anyone else? For myself, I'm in favor, strongly in favor of this ordinance. I think this town needs as much senior housing as it can get, and I think this is a good step forward in that direction. So I will be voting to approve. And with that, can we get a roll call?
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
No.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Yes.
Council President Harris.
Yes. Thank you. All right.
Last one.
Yes, on to 2259. Madam Clerk?
Ordinance appropriating $520,000 from a developer's contribution pursuant to the redevelopment agreement, which funds are in hand by the township for the acquisition of this property and in by the township of Edison.
Thank you very much. Public comments on this ordinance? All right, seeing none, can I get a motion to close?
Motion to close?
Second.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Thank you, John. And council comments on ordinance 2259.
Council President? Though I may have voted no on 2258, I would not have the township be liable for the actual contribution, the 520. So I'll be supporting this. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, with that, can we get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Brusher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Yes.
Council President Harris.
Yes, thank you. We are done with the ordinances. We move to public comment on the resolutions. Anyone from the public about the resolutions? Joel?
Oldasoff, Beach Lane. I have a question about Resolution 524, $68,000 for bleachers. My question is, where are the bleachers being installed? Is this new bleachers or replacement bleachers? And is this part of a capital bonds issue? And if not, why, if they're new bleachers, why would it not be part of a capital bonds issue?
Okay. The question about the bleachers, 524?
It is coming out of capital. This is going over at the sports facility. These are new bleachers.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else on the resolutions? All right, seeing none, can I get a motion to,
Motion to close the public portion on resolutions?
and can I get a second?
Second.
Right. Anyone want to pull any resolutions 513 through 527? Anything to pull?
527.
Missed it by that much. Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Anything to pull? Okay. So we are making a motion to approve resolutions 513 through 526. And can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second? Okay, thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Brusher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Yes.
Council President Harris.
Yes. All right. Councilman Brusher, have at it.
Yes, this is a pipeline that they're looking to put through New Jersey to benefit New York, that New Jersey gets absolutely no benefit from that I've heard of to date. And when we talked about both sides of a political spectrum, right, and how we have discourse, I think this is actually a very good thing because South Brunswick, Aberdeen, Franklin, Hazlitt, the Highlands, Keyport, Matawan, Princeton, Red Bank, and Union Beach. These towns are made up, some are Republican and some are Democrat. So this isn't a partisan issue. And it's nice to see that we're here and we're working together. Some people might not understand or might not know why you might want to oppose this, but I'll tell you this, people have known that New Jersey's been contaminated for years. Our rivers have been contaminated. That flushes down and it gets into our waterways, into the fish that we eat. The shellfish that you eat all comes from here. Over the last, I'd say 20 years, I think the positive aspect was that sediment has covered over a lot of these contaminants. It's why they don't really want to do dredging, because you end up opening this up and you expose all of this. So opposing this, I think, is a good thing. I think it's good to see that it's a bipartisan issue overall with other towns, and I'm glad to see that we put this here on our agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Brusher. All right. Can I get a motion to approve Resolution 527?
Motion to approve.
Seconded.
Yay.
Okay.
Yay. Okay. Can we get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Brusher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Yes.
Council President Harris.
Yes. Okay, we open up oral petitions and remarks. Joel?
Joel Bassoff, Beach Lane. Trigger warning, I do have questions about affordable housing. So the state assigned Edison a fair share obligation of 727 new units. for the next 10 years. And since developers can build 4 market rate units for each affordable unit, that means Edison has to find room for an additional 3,635 new units. So at a previous council meeting, the township attorney said that he wouldn't allow the state to dictate to Edison how many affordable units we'd be responsible for. So to challenge the state's assigned number, Edison could have entered into a dispute resolution program back in January. 158 other municipalities challenged the state's numbers through that dispute resolution program. The overwhelming majority of them successfully proved that the state's calculations were erroneous. But Edison didn't do that. Edison let that January deadline go by. And when members of the public asked what was going on, the attorney said that Edison was following a different procedure. He claimed that Edison would reduce its affordable housing obligation and get immunity from Bilge's remedy lawsuits by going to Superior Court for a declaratory judgment. So how did Edison do with the declaratory judgment? I'm going to quote from paragraph 9A of the court's order. The township must immediately plan for its obligation as established by the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs, i.e., its presumptively valid calculation of a prospective need obligation of 727 units. So that means that's a 0 reduction from the number dictated by the state. And also, Edison forfeited its immunity against Bilge's remedy lawsuits filed by 4 developers. And I'll quote from paragraph 9B of the court's order. The limited temporary immunity period hereby granted explicitly excludes and shall not apply to the Bilge's remedy actions instituted against the township by Blueberry Village and Oakwood Plaza and by M&M Realty Partners, and in any Bilge's remedy counterclaims that are or may be brought and filed by any of the Alfieri parties. And also the court order allows the New Jersey Builders Association and the Fair Share Housing Center to intervene in the litigation. That's in paragraphs 1 and 4 of the court's order. And then to top it off, Edison is ordered to pay for a court-appointed special adjudicator to supervise Edison's compliance with the court order. And Edison also has to pay for any planning experts that the special adjudicator retains. And that would be on top of any planning experts that Edison has to retain on its own behalf. So my questions are, how would you answer members of the public who say that the application for a declaratory judgment was never intended to be successful, that it's just litigation theater to make it look like Edison is challenging the affordable housing numbers? What do you say to those who think that the declaratory judgment action was just a ruse to open up Edison to unrestricted overdevelopment and Bilge's remedy lawsuits, and then use the court as a scapegoat? And finally, how is Edison better off than if it had just entered the dispute resolution program back in January? So those are my questions.
Counselor?
Sure. Okay. Thank you, Council President. Mr. Bassoff and I have had numerous conversations in public about the affordable housing strategy. Okay, thank you. I want to be fair to Mr. Bassoff in saying that this is the fairest way I can say, Council President, is that the order or the portions of the order that have been read out loud do not speak for the entirety of the order. And I believe that this council did receive a pretty extensive explanation from my partner, Lou Ranone. And I'll be clear on a few points, though, that I think that have to be made aware to this council and to the public. One, the immunity from builders' remedy lawsuits continues under the order that was signed. We have now engaged in a case where we are challenging the number that was established by DCA. And we will have to establish a plan that meets our constitutional mandate for affordable housing. What that plan looks like, what that number is still very much before the court. All of the language with regard to the intervening parties, it's standard in any order. Any party who believes they have a right to be part of a plan can intervene in the lawsuit. That's common in any affordable housing action, and that's what we have here. They are still subject. We still have immunity. Could these individuals be part of a plan at the ultimate resolution of this case? It's possible, but we don't know that yet. And as far as the special master is concerned, every single affordable housing case in the state has a special master attached to it. So there's nothing out of the ordinary there. So I'll repeat, the case is ongoing. We are committed as this administration, as the director of law, to make sure that the affordable housing number is one that is fair, that is reasonable, and can actually be accomplished in Edison. And we believe that DCA number does not do so. So that's the best I can answer. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Yes, AJ.
Good evening. Ben's from Edison. Do I have the floor, Council President?
Yes, you do.
Thank you. I know I haven't been here. I think the last time I was here was in March when I made the announcement of the Daniel Bogoli, Bad Baby, Cash Me Outside Girl, the song of OG Crash Out, making a lot of hits. Still didn't get paid for that. So, yeah, that 11-second intro didn't give me any money from it. So, oh yeah. There's one thing it's on my mind. Tomorrow will be the 24th anniversary of 9/11. My thoughts and prayers still go out to the families who lost those family members on that day. And man, including today, very scary times in America. Very scary times. The reason why I'm saying this is because one of the Charlie Kirk, I think I'm pronouncing it Charlie Kirk, I think his last name, right? Sadly passed away due to political stuff. He passed away because he said something and somebody literally pulled the trigger and literally pronounced dead literally right on the scene. It's sad. I feel like we have to be very careful what we say in today's world, in today's politics, because people are having vengeance everywhere we go. It's not just that shooting incidents, but there was 2 other shooting incidents in this country as well. I think a high school somewhere, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was in Colorado somewhere. Not just that, but it's just the madness needs to stop. It's very sad that this guy who literally was, I guess, a image of the next MAGA dream team, I do like this guy, and it's sad that he got taken out for no reason, and this is definitely assassination. And it reminds me of, I think we have a lot of people in this township, not just in this state, but other majorities of you guys. You guys are here to help us to make, Edison great again. It's just, I'm very afraid of the politicians now, all because you say something and you don't like that person, what they did. Why would you have to take them out cold-bloodedly? It's a sad thing that I'm seeing in today's world. Please stay vigilant. If you see something, say something. I feel like this needs to stop. This whole terrorist of political motion of, from Epstein, from Trump, from this specifically incident that happened a few hours ago, is the madness needs to stop. We all need to choose our words wisely. Please choose your words wisely. I don't want to hear another assassination on any political person whatsoever, and that's why I'm afraid to speak up, because I don't want to be the next target if I speak my mind like Charlie did of those moments before he was assassinated on that day. So if I can have a moment of prayers of of what just happened recently, and that'll be great. Thank you. I'll remain my time.
Thank you. Sue?
Sue Malone Barber, Pleasant Avenue. Another trigger alert. I am here to talk about affordable housing. I guess this is a question for council. I still don't understand how our approach to wait till the last minute, which is what we did, and do a declaratory judgment is better than following the dispute resolution process that was set forth to start in January. We're in litigation. We have, I know you say we're immune, but we have builders' remedy lawsuits, 4 of them, that we have to litigate. Money. We have to litigate now the number of affordable housing units. I guess my next question is, is it true that as it stands right now, our number is 727 until we litigate it? That's my first question. Actually, my first question is, how are we better off? And what made us decide to do it that way? My second question is it true that we still have 727 affordable housing units to hit unless we are able to litigate that number down? Isn't it true that we have to fight 4 builders' remedy lawsuits? And I have a question about that. What leverage do we have to win them? And I think, I live in Clara Barton, and I know everyone's sick of me talking about Clara Barton, but I will talk about it until forever, and as long as I live here. What do you say to residents who have a real fear that developers will be able to use affordable housing as an excuse to turn Amboy Avenue into a high-rise urban corridor? One of the things about these builders' remedies is they can just say no to the zoning. And I guess, finally, I have a comment that I believe, and I know many people that I talk to believe, that this town is run by developers. And there's a part of me that doesn't really want to accuse anybody of this. It seems like we've done this on purpose. So I'd like a reaction to that as well. I know you're going to say we didn't do it on purpose. And I don't know how arrogant we can be to think we're going to win these lawsuits. I think that's it. I have a minute. I have one thing about the resolutions. In the last meeting, and I'm sorry I did not see Lou Renone's explanation on the affordable housing. Apologies. But I think in the last meeting, there was a resolution being drafted. There was an agreement to draft a resolution on the Immigrant Trust Act, and I'm wondering why that's not on the agenda tonight.
Okay. Any other questions?
I relinquish my 18 seconds.
Yeah. That was already passed. That
was added to the last meeting.
Yeah.
It was already passed?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was coming back to another meeting. I
Okay,
thought it was
yeah.
introduced.
All right, so to Sue's questions, how are we better off with this litigation?
We're better off because we're not accepting DCA's numbers, and thought it was best to litigate that number.
Could you speak a little louder? Or into the mic, sorry.
Yeah, just into the mic.
I'll answer to your question. Okay, thank you. I'll try my best to speak more into the microphone. Thank you. Council President, how are we better off? Well, We're better off because we're not accepting DCA's number, which we believe to be unreasonable, which we believe to be based on non-developable land, and we sought court intervention to reduce that number to a number that just makes sense for Edison. So that is the basis of the litigation.
Thank you. And she asked, do we still have right now the 727 obligation?
No, we do not. That's currently pending before the court.
Okay. Builder's remedy lawsuits.
There are no builder's remedy lawsuits. We have 4 interveners. Interveners are individuals who wish to be part of any affordable housing plan that may get adopted or resolved at the end of a case. As you know, many cases settle. These 4 interveners are looking for the opportunity to have projects as part of our as a part of our affordable housing plan.
Okay, and leverage to win.
What is our leverage to
It
win?
was- Yeah, what would be the leverage we have to win lawsuit, any of these?
I don't know if I understand the question. I mean, I'm confused by it. We filed this action because we believe that that the DCA number was unreasonable. Absent this action, we'd be stuck with a number that the state put together that doesn't make any sense for Edison. So we think this is our best opportunity to have a number and a plan together that makes sense for Edison.
Okay, thank you, Counselor. Thank you, Sue. Okay.
Council President, can I just add
Sure.
something to the affordable housing aspect? Back in 2015, the council adopted a fair share housing plan because of builder's remedy suit back in 2010, 2011, because of the second round obligations. Originally, the township was supposed to have like 2,600 units as part of what was initially sought after. The agreement came down to 1,300, which is half the amount. Now, I actually think the amount that was originally provided is larger, but I'm going to take the conservative approach here. So there's actually previous actions that have happened within the township where similar items have happened and that the number needed to be provided was reduced down. I also want to address something that was previously mentioned by a previous speaker about, I understand the set-asides, normally it's 20%, but there are actual developments that are 100% affordable housing units. Prime example here in Edison is Rivendell. It's 170 units, all of them are affordable housing. Additionally, and I know some people are skeptical on this, but eventually you may see stuff in regards to ADUs, accessory dwelling units, that could assist with this, and the township has access to funds to assist individuals to purchase properties and convert the deed over to affordable housing. We've had several of those happen this year. Those types of items would also reduce the overall open obligations that may or may not be determined. Finally, in regards to like where locations are, if you look back at the settlement from 2015, they lay out specifically the property locations where those allocations would be met. One example close to us would be the Camelot on Jackson Avenue. That was part of that settlement. So I understand the concern in regards to fearing that it gives a carte blanche for developers, but it has to be a part of whatever plan. And again, I know that's not specific numbers and such, but I do think that the township is in a good position to be able to fulfill whatever requirements come, but also not have it be as extravagant as the 727 number that we have. Sorry for the long-windedness. Thank you, Council President.
Thanks.
Council President?
Yes.
And I just wanted to add one more thing that our legal counsel explained on Monday, which was that any expired affordable housing units, so that, let's say, some housing unit that counted toward for affordable housing unit for 20 years, and then once it expires, we can rebuy that and extend that and count toward our affordable units. So we don't have to necessarily build new units. We can just expand the ones that expired. So we have tools to tackle this.
Thank you. Okay. Yes.
Anonymous. Good evening, Council President. Good evening, Council. I think you guys know why I'm here tonight. I stated it on Monday. I could easily be home, but it's important that the residents are given back the time that they're owed, and most importantly, also the rebuttals. And I'm not just here to share statements and comments and opinions, but I am here tonight to serve as a resource for somebody who has been all over New Jersey in hundreds of different council meetings in hundreds of different towns. And through the chair to John Poyner and Nish, I do want to extend a happy birthday to the both of you. I heard that in the beginning of the meeting. I hope you guys do something nice for yourselves. And I know you're a numbers guy, John, and I can appreciate that. But I do want to serve as a resource as somebody who has been to more council meetings in this room, all over the state. Everything from a whole Republican council in Lavallette arresting me for filming the meeting, which I now have a federal lawsuit with 8 counts of violations, all the way to, in 2019, when I was advocating for myself for cannabis and I dressed up as Bongholio, I went all over the state. I went over to 60 towns in just 2019 alone. I've seen a lot of different towns and the way that they engage with the public. And when I first came here in April of 2024, and I realized you guys had rebuttals, I said, well, that is pretty cool. You were given you appreciating the engagement with the public. And when I came here dressed as Bongholio, we all know what happened. And I was holding the prop and I was giving a performance and tried to ban me entirely. So I have seen everything that you could possibly imagine take place in council meetings all across New Jersey. And I'm here to compel mostly you, Mr. Poyner, and Mr. Patel, because I did see some integrity leadership skills at that meeting where it was packed about returning to the 6 minutes and the rebuttals. Not really compelling guy on the right. And the reason why I call you guy on the right is because you don't offer any input to the meetings. You don't have anything to say. When you ask me in the parking lot why I call you guy on the right, that's exactly why I call you guy on the right. You don't even speak for 4 minutes each meeting. So clearly you don't understand the significance to the public wanting to provide some input to the process, to the political process as members of the public, sharing their thoughts, their values. And I'm certainly not compelling you, Mr. Coyle, because you remind me of somebody who would push an old lady down in a walker at the state fair to get a free t-shirt or something. That's what I think of you. So I'm not compelling you to do anything for the residents. Not for me, for the residents. Because it kills me that at their expense, they paid the price for antics that took place from you guys. And we all know how I feel about that. And I don't want to be rude anymore. I want to work together on this. I know this is your last term, John, Nish. I'd love to go out on a great note and know that some involvement of my engagement with the political process in Edison ended on a good note. And I can appreciate your stats, Mr. Poyner, but I'm coming from experience. And what I saw here in Edison with the rebuttal process, you don't see that often in other towns. And you could use that as the argument that you shouldn't offer it, but you had it. And I thought that was the coolest thing about the engagement with the public. I thought that was wonderful. And since then, so many things had happened, camera angles went away, so much disastrous stuff. And it's all been fixed except for that. So please consider, for the residents who take the time out of their day to share their public input, please consider for them to restore the speaking time and the rebuttals.
Thank you. Okay. Liz, I'm going to go.
Elizabeth Conway, 20 Netherwood Circle. By now, they probably know your name. I just have a couple of questions. I did miss, I watched the council meeting Monday night on TV, and I missed some of the communication, so I'm going to ask again. Someone had brought up about Grove Avenue by Calvert, where you have your divots that go down. I recall someone brought the answer that a contractor is in the process of making good on fixing that road. Hopefully that was the proper answer. The second one is an update on Inman Avenue's T to Old Raritan Road. It's still in the same status as it has been for the last couple of years. And depending on where you have to stop, it's not a fun place to be. I'm wondering about the regulations. I feel bad for the people that live there, but at the same time, I don't want to be the one that winds up in the accident that might happen. And there's a good chance of it will happen. That something be done with that corner, whether it's a light or something. The stop sign is kind of useless because I don't, even if I stop, I'm almost out into the road before I can see people coming from my right side. And coming from the other end, as I'm coming up to make the right, I fear that someone else could wind up with a crash and I would be involved. So I know I've brought it up a number of times, but I figured I'm just going to keep on doing it until maybe I see something. I know they did lower some of the bushes, but greenery does grow and it does become full. I don't know if the bushes should be that close to the paving of the road. So if anyone could look at that again and maybe come up with a plan as to make that corner a little more presentable for the cars, I'd fully appreciate it. The other item is Grove Avenue. Hopefully I will get the answer to that. Inman Avenue. And the other item that I did watch on Monday night was our council president bringing up about the 6 minutes and the rebuttal. Well, you said you're going to do it to the end of the year. I'm going to continue doing it for years to come because I find it insulting that you are requiring me at times to stop talking after 4 minutes. Now, if I have a number of things that I'd bring up, I give up my time, and I'm a regular visitor to your chambers, I think I deem some respect that if I need more than 4 minutes, I'm allowed more than 4 minutes. And after I'm finished, if someone comes up with an item that I firmly do not agree with, I am not now given that chance to have a rebuttal. And I know the definition of rebuttal, but I'm not given that right. And until something is done about it, you're insulting the residents of this town.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you. To her question about Inman and Old Raritan Road.
We'll have someone go out there and take a look.
Okay. All right. Yes, sir. On the groom side.
Hi. I apologize. First time talking at one of these, so I'm a little bit nervous. But I did just want to bring up the topic of the Immigrant Trust Act. I understand that some of you have been in contact with a volunteer from the Dire Rapid Response Network. And I just wanted to ask for a confirmation that there was, from the council as a group, a written letter in support of the Immigrant Trust Act addressed to the State Senate President Scutari, Assembly Speaker Coughlin, and Governor Phil Murphy. And I suppose I relinquish my time or allow for answers.
Were there any other questions?
No, other than I just would like to say that I appreciate the commitment to the working with the volunteer networks in regards to this this letter.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I believe we did receive that communication. Am I right that we did receive the communication this gentleman is speaking of?
No, we passed a resolution.
No, but he's talking about the email.
Right, he's wondering if we sent
Right,
it out,
right.
and that's what I don't know, if we actually sent it out.
It's been done.
Okay. Yeah, I believe we did.
Sent in the resolution. I got it.
Thank you so
Right.
much.
Thank you so much. Okay. Any other public comments? All right. Motion to close?
Motion to close the public portion?
Second.
Thank you very much. Before we adjourn, I just want to remind everybody, we have unfortunately, a couple of combined meetings coming up. September 25th, because it's the week of Rosh Hashanah, and so it's Thursday, September 25th at 6 p.m. And then Wednesday, October 8th is a combined meeting because the planning board is going to be using these chambers on the 6th. So I know we don't like the combined meetings, but that's what we've got for the next two meetings. With that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned at 8:56 p.m. Thank you, everybody.
Second that. 25th.